Okay, 1, 2, 3. Are you
Okay,
going?
1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Fee. I wanted to come and talk through my show here at the Torrance Gallery. The theme of the show this year is kind of a coastal trail. Normally I just paint my own little beach in North Berwick. This year I decided to go the whole coast from Scremerston down past Berwick upon Tweed all the way up to Cramond, and all the beaches that I love in between. Most of these beaches hold special memories for me. They're all sort of different phases of my life. I've lived here on and off most of my life. So we'll just take a little look. There's some cuties up here, if we can come in and look. This is Cove. If you've ever been to Cove, it's a secret little harbour just near Cohen's Path. You have to walk to get there. It's very tiny and very secretive and beautiful. This is Musselburgh Harbour, which I don't actually know that well, but a client said to me, please go and paint Musselburgh Harbour, so I did. So that's one's for her. This is a little bit more abstract. Occasionally, sometimes I've just been on the beach, I get inspired by the big waves, and I just come home and I put it on canvas, and that's what this piece is about. This, I guess, was the star of the show, the opening. This is the one that everybody loved, and it got a red sticker straight away, so yay. And over here, we have Belhaven. This is where I was born. This is, the house I lived in was 100 metres that way. This is where my dad's ashes were scattered. It's a really, really special place to me, and I do paint it a lot. This is actually a slightly older piece, but putting it in a new frame always gives it a new lease of life. And we've got Longmidry Bents here. We used to always stop here on the way home from the car from Edinburgh with the little baby in the back fast asleep, and just take a break as parents when the child is sleeping. Let's get out the car, have 10 minutes walk, enjoy the sunset. Shouldn't really let your baby in the car, never mind. So, again, Our Lady, very local to me. I love the little marshy bits because it's so filled with bird life and wildlife, and it changes all the time. This is a kind of tidal estuary bit. Sometimes it's underwater, sometimes it's above water. It's a little bit of both in this particular painting. You can just see Kilspindy Golf Course just over there. Take a break. This is the view towards Dunbar from Tinningham. Do you know, we used to walk to Tinningham for years, and everybody would talk about this fabulous beach. And we'd go to this spot and go, it's not really that fabulous a beach. It's rocky and it's pretty, but it's not that amazing. We were going the wrong way. But there we go. It's still beautiful, and when you get the sunlight reflecting on all the little rock pools and the view across the Dunbar, and you get the little power station in the distance and all the rest of it. I called this one High on the Beach because I was listening to a lot of Lana Del Rey at the time when I painted it, and it just made me feel really happy to paint it. So it's not actually that I was sitting taking drugs on the beach, it was just that I was happy painting it. Down here we have a Portobello piece. This is not something I've painted for quite a few years. It's kind of blue sky paintings. I don't often do them, but I really wanted to work on Portobello, do a little bit of work on the more architectural things, get the detail, get the real feel of the place, get the reflections on the sand, and it was quite fun to do for a change. But I'll be honest with you, it's hard work doing all these buildings. I don't know how often I'll do it again. So this guy, this is my regular beach walk. This is Broad Sands, which is just in between Yellow Craigs and North Berwick. I end up here almost every day. Sometimes I'll camp here, and every day it's different, every day it's beautiful. And this day was a particularly pink day, and I just kind of went for it with all the pinks and the reflections, and there's Vidra. Again, it's quite loose. It might look like an exact painting from far away, but if you see close up, it's all very kind of palette knifey and loose. Can't think of anything else to say about that. So these two paintings came from a mistake I made 6 years ago. I bought the wrong size of frame, and I suddenly found them in my cupboard the other day, these frames, and I thought, I really want to use these, and I managed to find canvases to fit, so I was very excited. So I found the perfect places to paint, which firstly was this view from the walk out to Cramond Island, where you get Granton in the distance and the gasworks, and I don't know if that's Pilrig or Muirhouse or what, but you also get all the beautiful reflections on the sand, which is not quite water, not quite sea, it's a little bit of both. It was a struggle, this painting, I won't lie. It took a few sessions to get it right, but we did get it right because it got it right. This one is Aberlady again, but Aberlady with a tide in, as I talked about, sometimes tides in, sometimes tides out there. There's a little bridge halfway across that goes across to the nature reserve, and this is from halfway across the bridge, and the colours that day were just so beautiful, the purples and pinks and yellows all mingling against the water, the silhouette of Aberlady itself, and it was a joy to paint, an absolute joy to paint. Just like down here we have, it's more North Berwick, but as I say, I tend to paint my own beach a lot. For a month I was staying at my brother's house, which is the other end of town. So this is the other end of town. This is the Glen Golf Club, my brother's house, and we were staying there for a month, and it felt quite different view, quite a different place. The Bass Rock's much closer in, and we were lucky enough to have so many beautiful pink, crazy sunrises there. In fact, we were there when we had those iridescent clouds that were all over social media at the time, and they were amazing. So this one I think is called Shepherd's Morning, because it's, you know, red skies first thing in the morning, Shepherd's Morning. So yeah, that's that one. These two guys are from a fairly recent 5 AM drive down to Coldingham, and I really want to do some Coldingham paintings, because when I moved to the Borders as a child, there were not many beaches there. Coldingham was about the only one, and I didn't get to go there very often, but when I did, it was such a joy being back by the sea. So it's quite a special little place. And when I got there that morning, there was just this pink strip of light, and it was beautiful. And it wasn't the paintings I planned to paint, but you have to take advantage of what the weather gives you, and they were painted really freshly, really quickly. I didn't go agonise over them. I just wanted to capture the pink and the darks, and they may not be very exact paintings of for example, the St. Abb's headline, but I like to feel they got the feel of the place in the first thing in the morning. That's my Coldingham pinks. Okay, this is Gullen again, a lovely Sunday morning one. This was around about the point when I was trying to pull together a lot of pieces for the show last October, November, and I had to get out to all these places to get the photos. I couldn't always wait for the most stunning sunset or sunrise, but sometimes the subtler ones are actually the most beautiful ones, and the most calming ones, and the most peaceful to live with. And I've called this subtle sunrise because it is a sunrise, but it's not a flashy one. It's just a very gentle one, and it was a very gentle morning, the waves gently coming in, and it's something that would be very calming, peaceful to live with, very tranquil. Okay, so every show has a poster child. This is our poster child baby, and this was one of these days where you start painting and everything goes right. Everything you do works, and that doesn't happen with every painting, obviously not. Sometimes it does, and I'm so proud of this piece. I love looking at it. I'm not going to be disappointed if it comes home with me, because I've got a lovely place to put it in my house. But I'm very much hoping it will not come home with me at the end of the show, because I do feel it's pretty much the strongest piece in the show. And these guys up here, again, another little beautiful pink morning from when I was staying at brother's house at the other end of the beach. So again, it's North Berwick. This is Porty at night time. I do love Portobello at night when you get all these little reflections and all the little lights and everything, and it was a real fun piece to paint, this one. And down here we have White Sands. Now White Sands is just outside Dunbar. It's a lovely beach. My mum used to take us here for a day out when we were children. Bear in mind, we lived 3 miles away, and this was our summer day out. 3 miles down the road, but it's a beautiful beach, so I don't blame her. And I have such fond memories of playing there as a child. And I think they're just a lovely collection together. So yeah.